What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Arcade. Folks, we're doing this Teppen style. Alrighty, everybody. So, with it now, a couple weeks since they released our guy Nero, a new character that they just released back in October. Actually, on Halloween, they released him on October 31st. What an awesome way to commemorate my favorite holiday, Halloween. Let's get switched over to him really quick. So Nero, I mean, I'm not really going to cover a whole lot about him. I mean, you see, like, I have like 3 different like Nero decks, right? I'll just do the Nero deck 2.
Woo! I'm bringing the party.
This Nero Awakens deck is a mixed deck that I did with Nero, and maybe I'll cover it if I think it's a little better later on down the road. The Nero deck is the original deck that came with the character. Nero deck 2 is something I kind of like tweaked a little bit, so I'll just go with him. But anyway, I'm not going to really cover too much groundwork on him, as, I mean, if you're watching this video, you're probably already an avid Teppen player. If you're not, then I highly suggest you go check out the game. It's a lot of fun. And actually, I think that they recently just got Best New Game 2019 or something like that on the Google Play Store, which is pretty awesome. I think they gave away like a Devil's Awaken like pack for that, so that was pretty cool that they got that. So I'm gonna go back here. Actually, maybe I'll stay on the screen for a hot second here. So when the game first released, as we all know, there were 6 characters that were out. There was Ryu, there was X, there was Nergante, there was Dante. There was Rathalos, Chun-Li, and Morgan, and Albert Wesker. Those were the main people, right? So what is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There was 8 characters, and then they released Joe Valentine in sometime around like September, I think it was. And then they released Nero just recently. He's the most recent addition to the whole thing. And so far, it looks like they've been kind of going with just a few of the games, right? There's the Street Fighter theme, there's a Mega Man theme, there's a Monster Hunters theme, there's a Devil May Cry theme, and a Darkstalkers, and there's a Resident Evil theme, right? And it looks like they've been pairing them accordingly, right? Like the first time around, the first 8 characters, Ryu had Chun-Li, Nergigante had Rathalos, going back, Chun-Li obviously has Ryu. But then you had your characters that didn't have anybody, right? You have Mega Man, who still doesn't have his counterpart. You have Morgan, who doesn't have a counterpart, and that's pretty much it. Just those 2 characters are left that don't have counterparts, right? So Jill Valentine, when they released her, obviously she's kind of like Albert Wesker's counterpart. The new character Nero is Dante's counterpart, which I thought they were going to kind of go with Trish, but they went with Nero. Either way, he's a lot of fun to play. So it just kind of like makes you think like who's going to be released next. And if they go based on this kind of like theme of like pairing people up, it's logical to say that the next person who comes out will either be from the Mega Man universe, so maybe they'll bring out another character that's like Zero, or from the other characters or whatever, or the other person who might get a counterpart is Morgan, and they'll pick somebody from the Darkstalker universe. I don't think they'll do Lilith, though. I think that's a little too close to just already being like Morgan. It'll be somebody very different in the Darkstalker universe. So, and I mean, other speculations, right? I mean, Joe Valentine was red, and that kind of created like an imbalance of the different elements, right? Before it was 2 red, 2 green, 2 black, 2 purple, and now you have Joe Valentine, so that made it 3 red, right? So obviously we all knew that when Nero was being talked about, they didn't release the element information yet. There wasn't a whole lot of information released for him yet. That clearly he was not going to be a red element, right? They wouldn't really unbalance things that far with that. And we kind of already knew by default that he wasn't going to be purple because Dante already claimed that spot. It'd be kind of a little unusual to have both characters from Devil May Cry have the same elements. And so we could, kind of extrapolate that, what kind of element he was going to be. He wasn't going to be red. He wasn't going to be purple. And they'll have green, black, and that's pretty much it, right? Green, black, and that's it. So then obviously they went with Nero being a green element. So that leaves that the next person who comes out that's either going to be from the Mega Man universe or from the Darkstalker universe is going to be black by some kind of default. All right, no, it'll either be black or it'll be purple. My fault. Yeah, it'll be black or it'll be purple, right? And that'll continue to kind of balance things out a little bit as they make their full circle when they release their two next characters. So I'm thinking that it'll probably be Mega Man will get a counterpart. And here's kind of just my speculation about that, right? If you think about the characters they released and the themes that they're from, Joe Valentine and Nero kind of deal with that whole supernatural, demon-esque kind of thing. So it's kind of like a theme almost, right? And Morgan kind of falls into that same kind of category. So I think a nice way to kind of just, kind of go around full circle. And I might be wrong. Maybe they might just release, Morgan's counterpart and they'll keep going with that kind of thing. But I think it's going to be somebody from Mega Man's universe. So just to kind of add something kind of different and new. As to what kind of new abilities that they'll probably add. I mean, with Nero, they added the growth ability and the anti-air ability. I don't know. It's kind of fun to speculate a little bit. And definitely let me know in the comments down below, what kind of cool things would you like to see them add to Teppen? What would you like to see them add as far as effects or car types or whatever, right? And just let me know what kind of ideas you have or what you would like to see them do. So probably I think it'll be, just my guess, it'll be somebody from the Mega Man universe next. And it'll probably be like a black deck, I think. So that's my guess with that. But again, just a guess. Maybe it might be something entirely different. Who knows, right? But it is a lot of fun to speculate, no doubt. So let me go ahead and check to see if we got anything that we can unlock. Shop. I do have a present. Let's see what that is. Did I not select it? I thought I did. Okay, I have 30 zenny for logging in. Cool. Collect that. And do I have enough to actually buy another deck? I do not. I actually did. I did purchase another season pass. We're on season 3. But I didn't do it using any of my actual money. I did it with all the jewels that I collected through the season missions. And I'm doing pretty much the same thing again to purchase for season 4. I'm just kind of keeping that theme. So far I have 900 jewel. I could spend 240 jewel to get a pack, but I don't want to. So I'm not going to do that. I did recently actually purchase a card using Soul. Actually, it's in Nero's deck, I think. Is it in Nero's deck? No, it's not in Nero's deck. Let me see. Edit. Who was I playing with just recently? I was playing with Dante. I probably thought that because it's in the same theme here. but I'll show you the
My
guy
soul
that
is screaming.
I recently
For your
just
head, that is.
acquired. And I did this by kind of reaping some cards that I didn't really use that often. You can do that kind of thing. I mean, you can reap all and gain souls that way. But let's just face it, I mean, there's a lot of cards that you're probably never going to put in your deck for whatever reason. Maybe you just don't want to. Maybe you don't know how to play them properly. You can go ahead and reap some of those cards and, you know, pick cards that you want to put into your deck instead. So no harm in that. I mean, you're going to get other decks anyway, and you'll probably get a bunch of those cards again regardless. So I do that from time to time. The key is to make sure that if you do reap a card, to make absolutely sure that it's not already in the deck that you play frequently. And you probably won't make that mistake because, I mean, if you know your decks well enough, you probably won't make that mistake, but you never know. So just double check before you do that. The guy that I recently just acquired is the Mysterious One. He is a demon type, and pretty much it's interesting because the card can't attack, like literally, like even if you give him attack points, this card does not attack. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what's the point of having a card that does not attack, right? And obviously, he's very expensive to bring out. He's 8 MP to bring out, and he's only got a defense of like 5 health points, right? Which is not really a whole lot. What's cool about the Mysterious One is that he has a Resonate effect, and when you play an effect card, one of the 3 cards actually appear on your side of the field. Either it'll be the familiar Griffin, bring him up, who is a MP 5 with an attack of 2 and a defense of 5. He has flight. He also has Resonate, meaning that if you play another active card, it deals 2 damage to any random enemy. And Death removes self from play, so if he gets taken out, he doesn't get put into a graveyard, right? Like, you can't use an effect to bring him out of the graveyard. He is removed from play, period. Unless you bring V the Familiar up again, and you'll end up kind of randomly getting this card again. But yeah, he can't be brought back by any kind of card. Or you can bring a Familiar Shadow, right? His Resonate is gains +1/+1. He's already at an attack of 2 and a defense of 6. And Death also removes self from play, so same effect. All 3 cards have that same effect. The last one is the Familiar Nightmare. It's kind of a heavy hitter, this one. If I can manage to actually bring him out. So he's got a few different effects, one of them which is actually not a very good effect, but there's a reason for it. He is kind of, I think, the strongest, in just judging by the fact that he is a 10 MP, and it looks like he has a legendary emblem rather than just an epic emblem. The epic emblems are gold, the legendary are like these blue, gold, and like silver down below. And he has an attack of 13 and an HP defense of 13. But because he's so OP, they have to have a slow effect on him. So in other words, his attack actually is a lot slower than pretty much all the other characters that just have a normal attack. He has spillover, so it deals half of damage dealt to a unit to an adjacent unit as well. So when this guy attacks a unit, he's going to take 13 away from that enemy unit, and about half of that, which is, I mean, what is that, like 6.5? I don't think they really do it that way, but maybe just like 6 HP gets taken away from an adjacent enemy. And he's also indestructible, meaning that, let me go ahead and select on indestructible, nullifies destroy effect. So in other words, you can't use a destroy card against him. It just doesn't work. He can only be destroyed by just being attacked in general. So it's pretty cool. I love it when that happens. So that was the most recent card that I actually got was V the Mysterious one. And I suppose being a purple card, I mean, if you use like Dante's Ebony and Ivory effects, then you'd have the ability to bring two familiars out at the same time. Is it worth having this card with Ebony and Ivory as an art form? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know if you would really ever be able to effectively pull it off consecutively, like frequently. Only because that would imply that you have enough art points to be able to do Ebony and Ivory, and this would be the only card on the field. Like, you would have to have like the two other available card spots to use Ebony and Ivory on this, and then use an ability card to bring out two of the familiars at once. So, I mean, I suppose there's some scenarios where that would happen, but I don't imagine that would happen very often. So, but either way, it's a pretty cool card. It is a legendary card, so the total to actually purchase him is, I think, 3,200. With the season pass, you do get a discount on legendary creations, so that cuts it by 50% if you want to do it that way. But that was a recent card that I got. Maybe I'll be able to play him on video sometime. Here's another one really quick that I like a lot. I like Brainwash. It seizes control of an enemy unit. Yeah, talk about like extremely annoying when you're able to pull this off against like an enemy opponent. Like, you know, they've like stacked up to like their enemy opponent with like 2 or 3 shield, and they've got some type of crazy, ridiculous amount of like attack points. And then all of a sudden you just bust this card out and you steal that card from them. Yeah, that gets really annoying. I've had that happen a couple times, but it's really cool when you're able to pull it off, and it's definitely a card that I have in my deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and just exit out of that. The hero art that I have, I think I was calling it art form. It's hero art. Is Quicksilver. I don't really think very highly of Dante. I think he's probably one of my least favorite characters to play, but I am trying to kind of like master him just a little bit more. I'm going to be releasing a top players like choice, in my opinion, of who's the best from who's the worst. So, alright, we're going to go ahead and switch over to the Nero deck,
I'm bringing the party.
I'm going to go ahead and just kind of do a battle like we always do, right? Okay, so let's just have a quick look at what kind of cards I have for this guy here. This is, remember, the modified, so this is not the original deck that it actually comes with. But I have 2 leaps. That gives the your unit anti-flight. Awakened power, I have 2 of those, so it gives a growth unit some additional growth points. Wire Snatch is a fun card to play, I gotta say. I hope that they actually release more cards like this just in general. Wire Snatch gives you the ability to move one of your friendly units to a random free spot. And plus it also, you know, resets the unit's attack prep and gives a +2 HP. So there's some benefits to doing that. I mean, even if you don't have the room to move to another slot, you could still just play this card for just the +2 HP points. Yeah, so this is just a quick look at my deck, some of my heavy hitters, which I think I may have too many heavy hitters. I'm going to have to balance that out a little bit more. But I have Heavy Kicks Chun-Li, which I think she's pretty much in all of my green decks. Edmund Honda is a growth card. Advanced Artifact X. I like playing this card a lot. He's probably got one of the coolest, I think, abilities out there of cards. He is a legendary type. His victory is he acquires the abilities of the defeated units. So that's actually like, and I'm talking about any ability you can possibly think of, right? Like if I defeat a growth type unit with this card, I gained the ability to grow and gain those growth abilities with this artifact, Advanced Artifact X card. But again, it is one of my favorites. I would rather have more of this one than to have some of these other heavy hitters in my deck. But you can only have, I think, one legendary of its type in a deck at a time. So I can't have like 2 or 3 of these guys. I have one-armed Hunter Nero. This is pretty cool. He's a grow type card. And a couple things that he does when he's played, he explores for Wire Snatch, which is a card that I covered a second ago. And when you actually hit the next level for him, he turns into Devil form Nero. So here he is now. So there's the artwork. Pretty cool, pretty nifty. And then you gain 3 growth points, and bam, he turns into Devil form Nero. And he's obviously a stronger type card, as he goes from the regular one-armed Devil being 6 MP. He is now 9 MP, and he has an attack of 3 and an HP of 7. He's also considered a legendary type. And he's got flight and combo, so that's an awesome card that I have there to play. I have General Reploid Leader. He's my most expensive card to play. He has Spillover, and when he defeats an enemy unit, he explores for Repliforce. And Repliforce, you go into that, gives any units, or actually no, scratch that, gives all friendly units +1/+5. So he's actually another one of my favorite green deck cards to play. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and try a battle. As I'm doing like my videos, I know this one's actually kind of running a little long. I'll try to, kind of make them a little bit more sweet and to the point. For now, for the time being, I'm just kind of enjoying the rants. Alright, I wonder if I'm going to play against another Nero guy. It's been kind of a common thing that a lot of people are playing with the Nero.
I've got some cleaning up to do.
I think it was more common to actually see a bunch of Jill Valentine
my destiny to fight
than Nero. Ooh, sorry folks. Am I going to have to restart this? Connection lost, attempting to rejoin the battle. I do see that my Wi-Fi is just a tad bit spotty, so... sorry guys. Not
I'm still
very
fighting.
cool, right? I just up and lost this battle because of a poor connection. So, let's see here. Let's try this again, shall we? Battle. You find an opponent.
Get in my way and I'll crush you.
You're not in my database.
Alright. This is a cool feature that allows you to swap your deck if you don't like it. That's okay, I'll keep it simple. Now wait a little bit. Bring out the one-armed Devil Hunter. And there's that transformation.
Say your prayers.
Do some Wire Snatch.
Throw down your weapons and surrender.
with power.
Systems fully charged.
Say your prayers. With power.
Critical
Say
damage
your
sustained. Throw down your weapons and surrender.
There it is.
I'm really getting the hang of this new toy.
Awesome. Okay. C4, doing the star. Alright. Well, there you have it, folks. That is it for tonight's video. If you haven't subscribed already, I don't know what you're waiting for, but, you know, subscribe, you know, please. Anywho, alright, so yeah, subscribe if you like the content, if you like the channel. Make sure to go ahead and hit that little bell icon. That's a little notification icon. It will notify you every time I release my next videos. And make sure to, you know, go ahead and while you're doing all that other, you know, like subscribing and doing the bell notification thing, to go ahead and drop a like. And let YouTube know that I am desperately trying to put out some awesome quality content here. And I hope you're enjoying it. Ooh, let's see. What did I just get? Did I get a present? Sorry, I get distracted easily. Oh, I got 3 aids. Okay, that's cool. Go ahead and claim that. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, alright. So now that's it. Alright, everybody. We'll see you next time. Peace out.